This is Irontrader. It is hump day, which means it is crude day. Now, the API report came out yesterday, and wow, holy smokes. Crude had a build of 19.1 million barrels. Gasoline had a draw of 4.5. Distillate had a draw of 2.4. And then Cushing had a draw of zero point 0.1 million. So we got to see at the EIA report, which will be out today at 10:30, if that all confirms. Okay, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. Then we'll take a look at the old NQ, which is only down about 35 today. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Now, you can see yesterday here, we put that, not yesterday, but we put this topping tail in here on Monday. And then yesterday we had this big red candle down here. Now, yesterday we got as low as 116.90. What we're looking for right here, as long as we're holding this 115,635. Now, these are big numbers, so you're not going to be exact, okay? We start getting over 100,000. So this here, the reason we're looking at this is that 115,635 is that's their gap, okay? And then we have the fill over the top of this candle right here. You're looking at 114,380, and we have this 8 SMA here at 114,632 here. So always watch that gap and that fill. Reason being is, a lot of times it'll come down to that gap, and that's where it'll hold that support level. Okay, if not, then once it starts getting into the gap, it's going to want to fill it. Okay, so that 114,380, but right here, this 8-day at 114,632 is going to be very, very key. Now, I've always been telling you here is once these the candles start getting outside the price channels, it want to come back in and want to get towards that 8-day, okay? And that's exactly what's happening here. Now, we had this 123,615, really, really nice, good run. Now, yesterday here, we had that big red candle, but you notice that today so far here, we have what they call this an inside day. Your high and low is the inside a day of high and low, but it's way early yet, okay? So what we're looking for on the downside is you want to watch today's low, 117,255 level. Yesterday's low at that 116.90 level, and then we want to look at this 114,632, and then we look at that gap fill. Okay, now if it keeps right on rolling, then we'll look to the top of this candle here at 112,590 level. Then we'll come to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 110,880. Then we're looking for that 21-day at 109,930, and then we have your 50-day below that. I always like to show you where it could possibly go in case it does get hammered. Now, on the upside here, today we made this high at 119,660 level. Okay, so what we're doing next is yesterday's high. Okay, 120,695 level. Then obviously, if you can get above that, we had that big retest at 123,615. Now, if we crack that open, you look at the measure move up this inverse heads and shoulders, you're looking at about 125.5 is what the target would be. Okay, so when we look at this pattern here, we have the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. So all we do is take the bottom of that candle here to this next line, we flip that over, and you get about 125,500. Okay, but right now here we don't worry about that. But I'd like to show you where it could possibly go if we do this breakout situation. Now we got to an overbought condition here. It came down and now looks like it wants to try right back up. Now, anytime you get these tapping tails, especially when you get the green candle, it always wants to kind of like retest that area here. So really the key is going to be at yesterday's high at 126.95. That's going to be very, very critical. If we get above it, then we can start heading for that. If not, we're going to be stuck maybe in a sideways range here. But as long as we're holding this 8-day, see on the upside here, 21-day to 50-day, all rolling up here very, very nicely. But we do have that topping tail, so you got to be a little bit cautious there. Now, when we look at the weekly chart here, okay, so you can see here, so far here for the week, we have well, it was basically here, we have a topping tail, but it turned more like an indecision kind of a candle, okay, right now. So again, as long as we're going to be holding this 8-day, 109,404 by Friday, this is still looking very, very bullish kind of a situation. Now, we are to an overbought situation, but again, you can stay overbought, okay, so don't get me wrong, you can, but you always, always want to be this like a red flag to me. I want to make sure I always keep my eye on it, but your green is over your red, shows good momentum there. The green over your red here, good momentum there. And we got to see how this is going to shake up. But so far, we have an inside day. So what we want to do is we want to watch yesterday's candle, okay? So that's at 126.95 on the top, 116.90 on the bottom, okay? So that's what we want to watch here. Sorry about that. Yes, and then we had that closing number there at 116.675. So that's what we're trading against is yesterday's candle. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, gold is pretty much like watching paint dry here. Okay, so we got to see how this all shakes out here. So we had like a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, but now this is kind of dragging out a little bit too far here. So basically, we just have some sideways action. So you can see here what we have on the upside is this 21-day is very, very key, 33.50. Okay, so if we can get back above that, then we'll look to yesterday's high, 33.75. We'll come up top of here, 33.81. And then we'll be looking here for this 33.89 level. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking for. Then all we do is look at the left of the chart here, 34.05. We have 34.13, and we have 34.22, 34.27. Come up to the top there, 34.68, and the retest there at 34.76. But right now, we just have this sideways action. But you notice that it's still holding this 8-day, okay? So that's what we're looking at downside, okay? 33.38, and then we're looking for that 50-day, 33.37, all pinned right there. It's kind of like a ping pong action. Now, if we start losing that, we have 33.19 level, come down here, 32.95. We have 32.90. We'll come down to the bottom there at 32.66. And then we have your retest at 32.50. And then we have your 32.19 level. But right now, we just have sideways action kind of a situation going here. So there really isn't, isn't too much going on here. Like for me, I didn't take any trade in this because what I'm waiting for is a close above this 21-day. Now, I almost took it here, but then I look at the next day's candle, and it just didn't do much, okay? Now, this is just a daily chart, so when you're trading, okay, if you want to use like a tick chart, a 1 and a 5 minute chart, you want to stretch out the trade a little bit, you can go a 15-minute, 30-minute chart, and then always look at an hourly and a 4-hour chart. I didn't see any kind of like a big upside where this is going to like move in kind of a situation, okay? So, no trade. We got to wait until we get above. So now what I'm watching is the top of this candle here, 33.89. We can get above that candle, then I'll take a trade because your target's going to be that 34.76. And then we have to see what the reaction is once you get there. Does it smash through? Does it hit it and come right back down here? If it goes through, here's your target right here at 35.09. Okay, you crack that, you go 35.50 and head your way to 3600 level. Okay, right now we only got 50. You can go either way. We got a sideways action here. There really isn't much here as far as trading. Okay, now we look at the old silver. Okay, so you can see how nice it's been holding this 21-day all the way on up here. Now, we had a nice good run up here, kind of a situation here. And then we had a topping tail. And then yesterday we put another red candle. And then today here we have this, we hit a low here of 37.97. Yesterday we had a low of 37.89 here. So we got an inside day. But what you're really watching is this 37.71. This is that 8-day, okay? Now, again, if that 8-day is lost, then we're going to come over here to the 21-day, which you have to respect because look how many times that has held it in the past. So even if it comes down here, it doesn't mean it's not going to hold it again, okay? If it loses that, well, then we just start following the candles down here, okay? 36.32 level. You got 36.05. We have 36.58, and then we'll come right to the bottom of this candle at 35.19, which is basically right in line here with this 35.22, your 50 SMA here, okay? But right now, it's holding the 8-day and it's holding the 21-day. Now, upside, what you want to watch is today's high, 38.34. And then what we'll do is we can come up here to yesterday's high, 38.74. We'll come up here at 39.22, and then your retest 39.57. You crack that, you're going to 40, 42, and then 45 level. But right now, as long as we're holding this 8-day, so what I'm waiting for, I have no trade going. So what I'm waiting for is if it holds this key 8 SMA here, okay, at that 37.71, then I'll jump into that SLV, and maybe we can take it and retest that 39.57. Now we got to an overbought condition. You can came right down here, and now we have this sideways action, which pretty much what we've had here all along. Okay, your green is over your red, so it shows momentum. And obviously, when you look at this chart here, you do have an uptrending chart. Okay, see how nice that is here? But look at that 21-day, how nice she's holding. Okay, so be patient with this. Okay, same with this, patient with that. Okay, let's take a look here at crude oil and natural gas. Okay, here we have the old crude oil. Now, yesterday we had a huge build up. We got to look at that EIA report to see if that's going to confirm, because 19 million barrels here on the build, that seems awful high. Okay, so we got to see if that's all going to shake out. Now, you can see here how strong this 200-day was. Look at that. See, 68.34. Yeah, went into it. Went above it, couldn't do anything. Now, this was a good candle here where I did take a scalp the next day, but then I got out of this here real quick. Now, we hit this high of that 69.65 level. What I was watching is the bottom of this candle here at 69.56. So we went just a little bit above it, but you notice that it couldn't hold it, and then we had that big drop, sideways action. Now, yesterday we had that lower low, and today we have this other lower low situation here. But when you have bills like this, I can, the market is completely, saturated. We got plenty of oil, plenty of supply. Okay, there's no issue there. The only question will be is that we have like a war situation, then that creates that $9-10 worth of premium going on here. Okay. Now, anything happens that Straits of Hormuz, which people have been talking about it for decades here now, but really there's never been anything that happened at Straits of Hormuz for 80 years. Everybody just keeps talking about it, but nothing has really happened there so far. But what you need is a catalyst to take this higher. Maybe hurricane season comes up and it has some kind of a disruption. But right now, this looks like it just wants to roll over. Now you look at that 8 days coming off here, 21 days coming off here, and never did cross that 200-day, and now she's rolling on down. So what we're watching on the downside is we're watching this right here, 65.25. There's your 100-day, and then we're going to be watching 65.85, and then we're looking at that 64 flat, which is that basically that bottom of that candle. Now, if that is lost here, all we do is we're going to come right over here to the bottom here. We're looking at this candle right here. Okay, you're looking at that 62.17. We'll come down here at 61.06. Then we can come all the way to the bottom here at this 59.74 level. Okay, so these blue lines here, all these are is price channels, and all these are is bottoms and tops of candles, which makes life a lot easier because all you do is just go right to the left there, and what do you got? 57.74 level, and we come all the way down here to that 55 level. Okay, so let's just see how this all shakes out. But right now, we just have the sideways action. But when you look at this here, you see this big pole, and it just looks like one big-ass bear flag kind of a situation. We had a bear flag here, but then it took off running, but it still just looks like one big bear flag kind of a situation. So on the downside, just watch that 100-day. That's going to be support, your 50-day, and then we retest there at 64. Now, upside, you can see a lot of resistance here. We got that 8-day, 67.44. 21-day, 67.84, and then that 200-day at 68.34. We get above that, then we can come up to this level here. You're looking at 68.94, and then we can have a retest there of 69.65 level. But right now, you got to get through that 8-day, 21-day, and that 200-day, and she's not looking too good when you have that series of lower lows situation. You're going to need a catalyst to take this higher. Right now, I've got a short going here with the SCO ever since this candle here. It's a slow mover here today because we're not getting really big moves. But let's see what that EIA report shows. Okay, now 47, that's nowhere near, that's oversold. That's got a long way to go. Green below your red here. So let's just see how this all shakes out. The key to this whole situation is holding that 64 level. We start losing that level, then we're going to start dropping all the way on down. Now the gas here has been really good trading here in the natural gas. Okay, so we had this topping tail, came on down, held that 200-day nice, rallied up, and then we have this all the way down here, down to this 3.14 level. Now you can see here on that downtrend, see where you had the high, lower high, lower high, lower high, all the way down, and we're both below that 8-day. Then it reversed that trend. Okay, see, once you got back above the 8-day, see, you reversed that trend. So this was some nice, good scalping. I don't hold natural gas. I just trade this UNG for the long, KLD for the short. I just make day trades. Okay, right now I have no position at all here because right now we are stuck right here at that 3.53 level here, the 50-day, and your 21 SMA. It just stuck right there. So let's go 3.4555. Let's just round it off at that. You have to get above that. If you do, then we can. This is the next target, 357, and then we look at that 100-day at 3.6 level here, and then we can get above that. We come up here at 375 level, and then we're going to be retesting this double top at 384. See this double top here? Okay, 384. That's what we're going to be looking for. Then obviously we can venture right on up here till we hit that 414 level again. But you can see how we reverse that trend, and now it's on the uptrend. The key is going to be closing above that 50-day and above that 21-day. Then I would take the trade to go back up. But right now, we're kind of stuck right there. So if this comes off here, you want to look at today's low, 3.15, come down here, 3.5 level here, and then we'll be looking for this 200-day again, 3.43, and then we're looking for that 8-day at 3.39. So right now here, we got a range going, okay? 200-day, 8-day on the bottom, 50-day, 21-day on the top. We crack that, we'll go to the 100-day. We lose this here, then we could come all the way down here, 329, okay, 319, 314. So right now, this is a trade. This is not a buy and hold. We got to see if you can get through all that resistance to take that bad boy higher. Now, you only look at 51. That's got plenty of room to go either way. Your green is just crossing over your red here. But again, we broke that downtrend. So now we got to see if there's going to have sideways action or if she's going to break through and head for that 100-day. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old NQ. Now, the NASDAQ had a good day yesterday. Okay, this is just a NASDAQ future. I show this because you can, if you look at the S&P, you look at the Dow, they're all the same. Okay, all the charts out here are the same. Okay, so we just have this melt up. Okay, so you can see here, this was the buying opportunity because simple reason is see how over sold that we got right there. Okay, see that oversold? Huge. Now, that was a buying opportunity. And now what we do is we just have these consolidation levels. And it's just creeping up, and just like a melt up situation. Okay. So yesterday we put in this topping tail here, 23,22275. But we're holding this 8-day. Okay. So we lose that 8-day. You want to look to the bottom of that candle there, 22,803. And then we want to look at the catch all at 22,647 level. Respect that 21-day because how nice it's been holding the whole way once we lose that 8-day. Okay. Obviously, if we lose that, we got the 50-day down here. We have the price channel sitting right there at that 21,566. And then we have your 200-day and we have your 100-day. But right now, we just have this trading range here. Nobody wants to give up the ghost. On the upside, 23,222. That's your level. Okay, we got to get above that. You could go 23,500. You could go 24,000. We're in the unknown here. Okay, so we just don't know where that could possibly go. But right now we just have sideways action. This is a trader's market. It's not a buy and hold situation. Unless you're like an Nvidia. Nvidia just keeps on rolling up here really, really nicely. TQQQ, that's a nice good leverage ETF here for the NASDAQ. That's working really nicely. Meta's working good. Even Apple's doing a good. So there's a lot of good trades there. And Tesla is a trade for me, okay? It's not a buy and hold, but there's some good action, long and short, on Tesla. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here at Midday Trading. We'll take a look at some stocks. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.